Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Albert and Billy Show. You're listening to us here on WUAT AM 1110, and you're watching us on Channel 18 BTC Fiber TV. And you can also check us out on BTC Fiber YouTube channel. Get on there and like and subscribe, as we always say, and comment. As long as it's nice, we're cool with that. But yeah, in all seriousness, get on there, like and subscribe. We appreciate all the support, obviously, and on there you cannot just see our show, but you see all the original BTC Fiber television shows on there. So get on there and support them, folks. We do appreciate it. And as you see, we have a guest today, and he'll be telling you guys momentarily about a lot of upcoming projects in the works for Mr. Timothy Hawn, who was on here a year ago, wasn't he, Timothy?
Oh, yes, I was.
Yeah, so he got broke in good on that one, so he should be all right today, shouldn't he, Papa?
Well, you have a brother, don't you?
I do, yes. Yes, I do.
I remember him.
Do you?
I was having to think of that.
Well, okay. There's a lot of ways to take that, but yeah. That could have been a complete insult. So I remember him.
Well, I had Timothy too.
Right. Anyway, though, we'll be interviewing Timothy, obviously, here in just a few minutes. Of course, he has to be my lifeline on trivia first. That's a grill for all our guests on there. And I'll start with the birthdays. I guess I'll save the best for last on here, Papa. I want to wish happy birthday to the following people that had a birthday in the past few days. On the 9th, Miss Shirley Farley turned 64 years young. Happy birthday. Stacy DeBoard had a birthday also the 7th. Jesse Farley had a birthday on Sunday. He turned 22. 22. Yeah, fun age there, 22. And Katie Ray, her birthday was 2 days ago, the day after Valentine's Day, the 15th. She turned 17. And the living legend himself, Mr. Albert Roberts, Papa, his birthday is today. Filming on your birthday, Papa. Have we ever done that? Has it ever worked out where it's been your actual birthday?
No.
I didn't think so.
Not that I remember.
Not that I remember either. So soak it up. Because I know you're gonna.
I'm glad I'm here for it.
I am too. We all are. We all are. Well, I always say, about, well, it was 87 going on 67. So I guess we'll change it to 88 going on 68 now. So yeah, lots of birthday wishes for Papa today, trust and believe. I had to bring some cards by your house for you today. You weren't there, but I did leave them for you.
I found them.
Okay. I was hoping that you did. So, but also happy birthday to Shirley, Katie, and Jesse. Hope you guys had a great birthday. All right, I just have not too many announcements today. I can live with that. Of course, this one announcement's a big one, Papa. It's about that good old Fall Creek Falls Fire Department country breakfast that they have every month. This one's actually the 25th though, so it's not tomorrow, but it's next week. But they're promoting it now, so by Georgie, we'll promote it because it's a good one. It will be the 25th, and their menu is a little bit different. That's what we like about it. They'll have hash browns, pancakes, waffles, scrambled eggs, biscuits and gravy. You can get fried bologna, as Papa says. Some fresh fruit will be on there. To drink, you can get a good old glass of orange juice, cup of coffee, or a glass of milk. This is at the Fall Creek Falls Fire Department. And let's see if it talks about a price. Yeah, plates are $10 each. Now, children 10 and under can get in for free. And remember, folks, all proceeds benefit the department's operations. We always emphasize on here that these are volunteer fire departments. So anytime you go to anything like this and you contribute, you're doing a good thing. You're doing your good deed for the day. A very good deed for the day, right, Papa?
Needful.
That's right, it is. It is. That's well put. let's see. I've never said anything. When I read this, it sounded weird coming out, but here we go. It's a commercial fruit and vegetable meeting. The Bledsoe County Annual Commercial Fruit and Vegetable Meeting is going to be on Tuesday, February 21st, out at Sumner City Baptist Church. The trade show starts at 5 p.m. Trade show. It's going to be, this is Eastern time, folks. So it'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern time and 5 Central. We'll make sure you know that. The meeting will begin at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. Requirements to meet private applicator recertification is being offered during this meeting. Okay, and the meal will be provided with reservation by calling the UT-TSU Bledsoe Extension Office. Their number is 447-2451. There you can make reservations and cost of proper food arrangements can be made. Interesting. I've never really heard of that.
No.
Have you?
No.
It's pretty interesting.
Thank you.
Check it out. Yeah, check it out. Yeah. The commercial fruit and vegetable meeting, that's on the 21st, folks, out at Sumner City Baptist Church. And let's see, the Luminary Volunteer Fire Department, they're seeking volunteer firefighters. Speaking of volunteer fire departments, they're needing some volunteers, folks, firefighters and board members willing to serve the department. Now, to be a firefighter, you must have a valid driver's license plus high school diploma or GED equivalent. And got a car alarm going off. All right. For more info, call Chief Donnie Atkins at, a lot of threes in this one, 423-333-6851. 333-6851. And see, that was the... Well, tomorrow, I'll say this one, Papa. Tomorrow, the bargain basement will be open at the Methodist Church. So you can go check that out. It will be from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. And they've always got all kinds of things over there. So just go over there and check it all out. It's usually a good selection, folks. And they'll be there from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. That's at the Methodist Church. And that's tomorrow. Is there any breakfast tomorrow? Is this the weekend where there's none scheduled maybe until the spring? Okay. That's what threw me off. Okay, good deal. I think I've got everything then, Papa.
I was wondering if the community is looking for volunteer firefighters, if you have to live in that community. It does not say.
I've never thought about that. I don't know.
It just dawned on me. Each community has their own firefighters. So I would assume that community would provide the people that fights fires in that community.
Yeah, you make perfect sense.
And it's,
why have I never thought about that? I've never thought about that in my life. Never.
I don't know why, but it just.
I'm glad you did. I don't really know the answer to that.
But I would assume that if they don't get enough firefighters out of their community,
sure people could come help.
I'm sure they would accept help.
Yeah. You mean you'd be a dang fool to turn it down, so of course they would. Yeah. Yeah, that's just common sense, sure.
I would if I were in a position to accept another person from another community.
You dang right.
Hop on board, bud.
Especially if I was short-handed, I'd take all the help I can get. You got that right. Well, Papa, it is trivia time.
I'm glad you need me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I got a lifeline today. Because I never know.
These are very easy today. I had Tim in mind.
Okay.
Give me the abbreviation for the Organization of Exporting Petroleum Countries. It is a familiar abbreviation. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. What's the abbreviation?
Do you have a clue, Lifeline? Because I'm coming up empty here.
Maybe opera.
Is that it?
No.
It's pronounced as a word, but it's 4 initials. Organization of Petroleum
OPEC.
Exporting Countries. OPEC.
Yes. I never knew what that meant. That word just popped in my brain. That's them.
They just made it into a word, but it's made up of the first letter. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries.
Wow.
OPEC.
Well, your clue is what led me to that answer. Trust me, I did not know the answer.
All right, now this next one is very, very simple.
I bet it is.
Vice President's boss.
The president.
President.
Well, gee, you kept your word.
I said these are very easy.
He says that, folks, but sometimes they're so easy that it's like a trick question. Don't let him fool you.
The abbreviation for miles per hour.
MPH.
MPH.
Okay.
Isn't that simple?
Well, it is your birthday today, and it's being nice, Timothy.
If I say an item belongs to us, who is us?
No, wait, hold up a minute. Hold up. That item belongs to us. Who's us?
It's not mine. It's
If
not
it ain't-
yours, but it's
Ours?
ours.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not a trick question. I said it's not mine, and it's not yours, but it belongs to both of us, so it's ours.
Okay, I'll let you slide since it's your birthday. I'll let you slide today.
These are very simple. Wine bottle stoppers.
Court?
Cork.
Boy, he is in a good mood. Whew, I can't believe this.
You know what I use the cork for?
Well, you don't drink wine, so I don't know. I do not know.
I used the cork for a fishing floater.
No way.
Yeah.
How'd it do? It did pretty good.
Works just fine because it floats on top of the water.
No, that's pretty slick, Papa.
And you didn't have to go buy it.
Exactly.
Of course, you had to buy the wine.
Right. You used to buy a cheap bottle of wine.
Now this one you have to put on your thinking cap.
Okay, okay.
A court entertainer.
Say it again now.
A court entertainer. Entertainer for the king in his court. What do you call that person that is the entertainer for royalty? You call him a court blank.
The court musician, perhaps.
Court musician, as he said.
No.
Hold up.
They have to entertain that royalty, so they do it verbally. What do you call that person that has that?
You talking about back in the days, and if ain't no good, they just kill them.
That's about
Some
it.
of them did.
That's about it.
What is that called?
You will hear whenever I tell you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be mad when I hear it.
You'll
I
be
know.
mad. I'm giving you the clue. A court blank. He's not just a blank. He is a court blank. Court, the word that describes what he does. He entertains royalty.
Okay, I'm trying to think here. My thinking cap must not have its
Starts
powers
with a
today.
J.
Yeah, I said jester. Was that it?
A gesture.
He said that already. So we get that one right then.
Court
by Georgia.
gesture. That's what they do. They're just entertaining royalty.
Right. Well, good job, Lifeline, because I'd never come up with that one, I can promise you.
Now,
Never.
give me this now.
I'll try.
What is the creation that a chicken provides? A hen, a female chicken. What
An egg?
An egg.
Well,
I said these are very simple. Now the
that last
last
one
one.
wasn't too simple.
The
I
last
didn't think.
one. What is Dracula's title?
Be count.
Yeah.
Count Dracula.
Okay.
He was
Rodden mean I
he
knew
was a
that.
vampire, but he had a royal title. Count Dracula. I told you these were simple.
Boy, they were. I was at that one out of nowhere. You know, the gesture. Nothing simple about that one, folks.
But
You can't say that's just a simple question there, can you?
Well, I'm proud of
But
you.
now I'm proud of you because you kept your word. All the rest of them were easy. But usually when they're that easy, it's like a trick question. It throws me off. Those are the hardest ones to answer because you don't want to get it wrong because you're going to feel like an idiot if you do.
These they have to come from somewhere, and I have no idea where those came from.
I will agree with that. I've been wondering that for a few years now.
Just remember, I've got to come up with these every week.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it.
So some of them have to be quite simple.
Yeah, I like those days. I used to, man, it used to be even harder than it is now, Timothy. Woo.
Bear in mind, I'm not necessarily trying to put you on the spot.
I know.
I'm saying to anybody that's watching,
Everybody that watches that, they all try to guess it, yeah. They love the trivia. They do.
well, I watch Jeopardy,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to try to outguess the guests.
Yeah.
There.
That's a tough one, though. Jeopardy is tough.
It
That
is.
can be really hard.
For sure. There's nothing simple about that show, are they?
I wonder what those people do to get ready for that. Just read the encyclopedia, or
I guess. You must have to be really smart to be on there. You'd
Well,
have to
and
be.
then some of those people stay on there long enough to win
I know.
over $1 million.
I know, man. That Ken guy, is he the host still?
Ken Jennings, he's
Yeah.
still the host.
So well, that's amazing. Like, he was a guest. Look at him now, a few years later. Now he's hosting the
I
show.
wouldn't be surprised by what he writes some of the questions.
He probably, yeah, I know, because you're right. He never did lose, did he?
Well, yeah,
He finally lost.
You gotta lose.
Well, he won a lot, though.
He won
a
a lot.
lot. He broke the record. I do know that. He broke the record.
But you know why records are made?
To be broken.
To be broken.
But you know, we had a guy on here that was on Jeopardy, remember?
Yeah.
Steve
Really?
Harmer. Yeah, he was on there.
wow.
And he won a few rounds. He was on there 3 or 4 nights, you know. That's impressive. You can even get on Jeopardy. You've impressed me, you know, and winning on there, yeah.
My wife said that
Mhm.
Joel Stanford, that she worked for, should
Mhm.
be a contestant.
Really? Well, that's
She
a
said-
compliment,
She
Mr.
said
Joel
that about
Stanford.
him. She said that about him.
Yeah. Yeah, there's people smart enough that I know that could probably be on there. Of course, you take into consideration TV and all that, though, now.
Stage fright.
Stage fright might change that.
It might change your thinkability.
It would. Well, not everybody, but it would a lot of them. I promise you that. The nerves would kick in. Those answers may not come so easily. Well, Papa, we have Mr. Timothy Hawn with us here, who you remember, right? He remembers your brother. Just kidding. You remember Mr. Timothy. I remember you used to talk about him when you were in high school. He would talk about how talented you were. He mentioned that several times on the show.
Yes.
hmm So, Timothy, let's briefly get caught up with your basically autobiography here real fast. We'll recap it. You got into music at what age, Timothy?
Well, I officially started taking lessons when I was about 7.
Wow. 7. So that's when you knew you wanted to go for it in music, pretty much?
It was,
Wow.
Now you're 20.
23.
You wasn't far off.
Wasn't far off.
You wasn't far off. He's a youngin', isn't he?
So for the last 16 years, you've progressed rapidly.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. When did you make your first CD? When did all that start coming into play?
Let's see. I believe it was 2020 is when that was. I started
Sounds about right.
recording around there. That's when I released that first single.
Okay.
2020.
Okay.
And I think that that summer I released my first album.
Yeah. That's probably, we had you on here around that time, didn't we? Yes. To remote the first one,
I think
maybe?
the next year may have been the album, actually, now that I think about it, because I released 2 songs, and then the next year I think I made an album.
It might have been.
So I think, because I think it was last year when I was on here.
You were.
So-
And I know your grandparents inspired some of it, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what I thought. Tell us a little about that.
Song in My Heart's what that one was.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
it was a poem my grandfather wrote to my grandmother
Remember that, Papa? I remember that.
No, I don't remember.
I remember him talking about that.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, because it was really touching. It was good. Yeah. So tell us a little about that. Like, did they? I think I remember your grandfather, maybe, or both your grandparents, kind of played a heavy role in your love of music. Is that true?
My grandfather definitely did. James Mills.
Okay. So
Just piano, or
Well, he we sang a lot together, so it was
okay.
so that helped inspire that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Piano came about a little bit later. Actually, it came around 7 because I started singing and stuff before then, but then that's when I started taking lessons and everything.
Okay, so you took piano lessons at 7, so
Yes.
you probably had it licked by what, 7.5?
Is some of this natural talent, or was it all developed?
So when we were playing Disney charades one night, and I was told this story later on. My let's see, I believe I was 4 at the time,
Wow.
and I pulled out Roger from 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
And I'd asked them, "Can I do anything?" And they said, "Sure." So I went over to the piano and played Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. And I hadn't touched the piano before, and as soon as they heard that, Mom wanted me to get into music as quick as possible. And we couldn't really find a piano teacher until I was around 7, but she had me in anything music she could find.
Wow.
And y'all had a piano in the home?
We did.
Okay.
We did. And she'd play from time to time, so
She was
So you had heard it already. You'd heard someone play the piano.
I had heard someone play the piano.
Wow.
And she said she played a lot of Beethoven while she was pregnant with me. So
Beethoven.
So she thinks that might
Wow.
Heavy stuff.
That is. It worked. That explains a lot of it right there.
Something's not in the average home.
No, absolutely not. So you learned to play piano at a very young age. Basically 7 years old, you knew how to play piano. Wow. That's amazing in itself.
It really is.
Yeah, no kidding. So 2020, you decided to put this talent to use even more and get it out to folks and make a CD, correct? And what have you done since then, though? You've done quite a bit since then, too.
Well, around Christmas, last year, I released another CD.
Yeah.
And I had that song I wrote for Light Up the Town Pikeville.
Yeah,
Christmas
that was
in
a
my
good
hometown.
song. Yeah, I like that. It was really good.
And since then, I've just been releasing some covers, and I released another original song, Nothing Without You.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I based that off of 80s love songs and whatnot.
Cool. I'm sure it's a good one then. Can't beat the 80s. You can't.
You can't, no.
So I don't blame him for that, Papa. So how did those do? I know the Christmas one done really well.
It did really well, and that one did well too.
Good.
And I released a cover of Great Balls of Fire, Jerry Lewis. And
Jerry Lee Lewis?
Oh yes, and that one's done really good.
I bet.
Especially since that new Top Gun movie had come out. I
Oh
actually
yeah.
didn't realize it was coming out, and then I released that right at the time that movie was coming out.
Oh,
so
wow.
It did pretty well.
Didn't even mean to, but that's perfect timing,
It
man.
was absolutely perfect time.
That really was. I like to hear that one. I like Jerry Lee Lewis. You remember that, don't you, Papa?
Oh, yeah.
Great Balls of Fire.
Sure do.
So that's your most recent single then?
Let's see. The most recent single I released, let's see, I think it was last Friday.
Really? Whoa.
so-
Very recent then. What's that one?
Marvelous.
Okay.
No, it's Wonderful. That's what it is. It's Wonderful.
It's Wonderful's the name of it?
Yes, that was George Gershwin.
No way. Okay. Well,
Came
tell
into-
us about that.
Well, it came into public domain this year, so
Really?
I decided to. It's one of the ones I really like listening to, and so finally it was in public domain. I thought, well,
Might
I
as
think
well
I'll
do
release
it.
a cover of it.
Yeah. Did you enjoy recording that one?
Oh, I did. I did.
Yeah.
I tried to get a little bit of Vince Guaraldi, the guy that did the Peanuts music.
Mhm.
I tried to get a little bit of inspiration from that to put into
cool.
it. So I think it turned out pretty well.
That's pretty awesome right there. So what is your, I guess like, you may like them both the same, but they're different, but do you enjoy the recording of a song and a CD, an album, better the recording process or, performing live? to the people, or is it about the same?
There's just something special about performing live.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I figured that would be your answer. Like,
Well,
so you
there's something innate within us that we want to clap, pat on the back, or hand clapping.
Oh yeah,
Certainly.
absolutely. But yeah, performing live was. I think that I figured that would be your answer. But you have to enjoy the recording process too, though.
It is enjoyable. Yes.
Yeah, it's just a little bit harder, isn't it? More
Well,
time consuming.
I guess it is a bit more time consuming because you want it to be a little bit more more perfect, but nothing's really perfect. But
no, perfect as you can. Yeah.
No, I try to record it all in one take so I can simulate it being like a live performance.
Oh, there you go. How does that work out?
It works pretty well.
Does it? Good.
It works pretty well. Sometimes it's better than others.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But most of the time it's pretty well.
I'm sure, but if you can do that, you're doing pretty good, though. Even if you just mess up a couple of times, you're doing good.
Well, I want it to be, not a total different from if I was performing live there and someone listened, if they were listening to my recording. So.
Well, that's pretty interesting. I like that. So what have you got coming up in the next few months, Timothy? We talked a little bit off camera about some of this, but tell the folks what you got coming up, buddy.
Well, coming out St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to be having Oh Danny Boy.
That's the perfect song for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yes. Love
Oh Danny Boy. Don't get no more Irish than that.
No, you don't.
That's pretty cool. So I'm sure you're excited about that, right?
I am.
And so you're releasing that on St. Patrick's Day.
On St. Patrick's Day.
That's pretty cool. Now, how would the folks get that?
Well, you can listen to it anywhere you listen to music. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube.
Cool.
And there's several others. I can't even remember all the names of them.
No.
They're all a whole bunch of them.
What month does St. Patrick's Day come in?
That's in March.
Next March.
It's March, yes.
I've got a drawing that I'm going to release.
Are you?
I've got a drawing ready for St. Patrick's Day.
Do you?
Wow.
What is the date on St. Patrick's Day? I can't remember.
17th, right? Yeah, 17th.
Okay. Wow, that's a month from today.
It is.
What about that? So a month from today is when your newest single comes out, which I'm sure you've already recorded several, correct?
I'm working
We're in
on finishing
studio.
up right now.
Yeah. So you're currently in studio.
I do all the stuff myself
Cool.
at home, so
Yeah.
usually right now I'm working on finishing what I want it to sound like. I'll get it recorded, and it takes roughly 2 to 3 weeks for it to go all the way through. the
I'm
system.
sure. So you're doing production, everything. Oh yeah. That's a lot of work.
Oh, it's fun though.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're trying to learn everything about it, aren't you?
I am, yes.
That's smart. Don't you think, Papa?
Well, it's wise. You don't
It
have to
is.
hire someone else to do it.
Well, yeah.
That's true.
That's true. That's one good reason to do it. So, is there going to be any songs after that? You mentioned.
Oh yes, I've got
Okay.
several in the lineup. I have an original coming out. Hopefully that'll be in April. That's what I'm.
That'd be really good. Yeah. What's the name of it going to be? Do you know yet?
Well, I'm hoping it's let's see, Road to Yesteryear. I think.
Road to Yesteryear.
Yes.
I like the word yesteryear.
That is a pretty cool title. So, where does that come from?
Just inspiration from living at home, living around in a small town.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And you
That
never
sounds-
know when a gem's going to fall from someone's lips.
True.
That you haven't heard before.
Well, isn't that the truth?
So you cabbage on it when you hear it.
That's right. Well, ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Now, but also we need to tell folks too. Also, you're also got a new gig going on too, right?
Oh yes.
Tell us about that with the choir.
Yes, so I'm the new music director at Bledsoe County High School.
That's really good. And when did that come about?
Well, I started the position officially in January, but I'd been the step-in last year in September. That's when
Really?
I started doing that.
I did not know that.
Finished my degree in September, so I
Wow.
started January.
Well, ain't
Did
too
you,
bad.
did you visualize that someday you would be locally utilizing your talents?
No, I did not. It was not something I had thought about doing at all, but
it fell into place.
Well, the opportunity was there, and I thought, well, that's something just really close to home, because especially being, even though Chattanooga's not that far away, being away from home, I started missing a lot of the things that was special here, which is part of the inspiration for the new song coming out.
Cool.
But the opportunity came up, and I thought, well, why don't I try? Not every day something like that comes up, and started doing that, and I just loved it.
Really?
I loved it, so I'm working on that now.
That's pretty cool.
The thing about the position that you've placed yourself in, you have no idea how many lives you will touch, how many young boys and girls you will impress.
That's very true.
That will follow in your footsteps.
That is true.
And that's where your reward comes in, not monetarily, but psychologically, you will get blessed.
I agree with that, yeah. Which is a lot for a 23-year-old, I'm sure. But, that is an amazing gig to get at such a young age, isn't it? That's very good.
Wonderful blessing.
Yeah, it really is. And you got to test it a while, too, and see if you liked it first. You can't beat that either.
You can't, no, not at all.
You got a few month trial run to see. I like that. So you knew pretty quickly that you wanted to do it, though.
I did. I guess it was that first month, because I was just basically a substitute starting in that. So
right, yeah.
The permanent sub. But, I'd say after that first month, I realized how much I love doing that.
Yeah.
And it still gives me time to record and perform.
No kidding.
So it's I couldn't think of anything better.
No, you really could, because it don't interfere in what you're doing at all.
What you got to realize is you're getting paid for what you love to do.
Certainly.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you need to think about that every time. Every time you get frustrated, you might have to start thinking about that. But it sounds like probably don't have much frustration. You seem to really enjoy it.
Well, it's not always perfect, but...
Of course.
No, because nothing's ever always just perfect all the time. But, no, for the most part, it's really rewarding, and getting to share what I love with other people. It's...
And how's the choir doing? I've not heard them perform in a year or two.
They are doing good. We just got through with a lot of them going to the Lee University for the honor choir.
Really?
And they did a wonderful job at that.
Really? Well, that's pretty cool.
That was also last weekend. So
was it? Now, do y'all put on like Christmas shows or like specials? Don't really necessarily have to be Christmas, but just specials each year.
We are getting ready for a show.
Okay.
We don't have the date set down yet, but we're hoping to do like a night of the movies is going to be the theme.
Cool.
We're going to have some stuff from some of the Disney movies.
Yeah.
And just some really good songs. I think it'll be a good performance.
That's not a bad idea at all. Are you thinking like the spring?
Yes, sometime in the spring. They just finished up that auditorium at the high school, so hopefully we'll get to be in there. We'll see what happens.
Oh man, that would be good. Hey, if you do that, you have to come back on. Might have to give everybody a sneak peek of the performance on that.
Oh, definitely.
Like sing a song or two from that for sure. Think about that, Papa.
Well, the thing about using songs from movies, people could identify with what they hear.
Absolutely.
Well, certainly.
That sounds like a good idea. And what would the name of it be again? What'd you say?
A night of the movies.
I like that. Well, I hope y'all get to do it. Like, when would you know, reckon?
We're hoping to do it probably around like April or May. So
that's not bad.
We'll see.
And the auditorium should be okay. You'll have a place to do it, I'm sure, no matter what.
Something will work out one way or the other. Hopefully, we get to use that nice auditorium.
That would be nice. And you'll definitely have to let us know on that. We'll definitely have you back on for that, Timothy. Is there anything else you want anybody to know, though, before you go, buddy?
I'll have some new music coming up, so if you're interested, you can follow on YouTube, Spotify. I'll have it posted on my Facebook page and Instagram. So if you want to follow some of the music, listen to some of that, you can follow there. And
so people can follow you on Facebook and Instagram, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
And I have a website.
Okay, tell us about that.
TimothyHawn.com. It has just links to all of my releases and everything.
Okay. Yeah, that's an easy way to get access, folks. Just
that's
go to his website.
HAWN.
Yes, HAWN.
HAWN.com.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
I'm thankful you can have me.
It's good to catch up with you.
It has been good, yes.
And I guess you'll be back a little bit sooner this time, because I definitely want to hear a sneak peek of that production you're working on. I think that's a good idea, Timothy. No lie. That'd be pretty cool.
I think it's going to be a really good performance.
Yeah. We'll definitely bring you back for that and show off what you're doing with the choir and stuff.
And they're sounding really good so far, so it's going to be a good performance.
All right. Well, yeah, definitely keep me posted on that. We'll bring you back for that, buddy. Well, I appreciate you stopping by today. Glad to have you.
Good to be here.
No problem, buddy. Go to his website, timothyhawn.com. Check it out. His new music coming up. Don't forget about Danny Boy coming out on St. Patty's Day, a month from today, folks.
From today.
That'll be his next release. All right, coming up after the break, we'll have some sports for you and some good old Albertology, the birthday version, I'm sure. That's all coming up next, folks, right after the break. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Dunlap Mercantile, located in the heart of the beautiful Sequatchie Valley at 15664 Rankin Avenue in Dunlap, Tennessee. Stop in today for some Mayfield ice cream or a cup of community coffee, and if you're interested in renting this venue for your event, call 423-949-2552. Stay tuned to DunlapMercantile.com for concerts and events coming to the Dunlap Mercantile in 2021. God bless.
Welcome back, folks, to the Albert and Billy Show. And we want to thank our sponsors real quick, folks. We'll have to do it kind of quick this time, but a big thank you to the following people. Citizens Tri-County Bank, Bilbrey Insurance, Scotty's, the offices of Janine Boynton, Lisa Whitter, Michael Walker, Farm Bureau Insurance, Nickel Row Antiques, which before you know it, they'll be back open, folks, right before you know it. Morgan Brothers, which includes, of course, the venue and the brewery. And the brewery is reopening this weekend. Need to announce that. They revamped it, which you didn't need it. It's already really nice in there, but it's even nicer now. Of course, the venue has been moved in there as well. So that opens tonight at 5 o'clock, folks. Go check it out. And also got Morgan Brothers Barbecue, of course. But you also have the new Pikeville Family Restaurant that they own as well, along with Jeremy Reed and Tim Angel. And they do want to be on. They want us to come up there and film.
Already?
So yeah, we'll be filming there pretty soon at the family restaurant. Their food is good. Have you had it yet?
No.
It's just breakfast. You know, it's good, really good. If you want a really good waffle, go to the family restaurant's what they're still gonna call it that, but go up there and check it out, folks. It's really, really good. If you want some good breakfast, you can't go wrong there. Also, thank you to State Farm Insurance, Mill Down Outdoor Adventures, It's Lola's, Collier & Company Realty, Dexter's Barbershop, The Butter Dish, Lee Station Baptist Church, Southern Pearl Forest Home Decor and Gifts. Man, I'm getting good at that. Adriana at Seashore Getaway. She can take you anywhere, so you can get away anywhere. She's the one to call. And the Daily Stop also on the bypass. And Papa, it's sports time.
I happen to have a few things you're ready to go.
Well, I remember talking to you on the phone last night. You said the girls are on right now. Boy, they're hitting everything, and you were correct.
They could do no wrong.
I ain't seen them play like that in a long time.
What amazed me, last Saturday, Tennessee men played Auburn, and they won the game by scoring 46 points.
I know. It was just too much defense. It was ugly.
That blew my mind. How many times have you seen an SEC team win a game with scoring 46 points?
Not many. It was some defensive. It was a defensive battle for sure. That's putting it mildly.
But we'll get
horrendous offense.
We'll get to the Tennessee women in a minute.
Okay.
The first thing I want to talk about is the Tennessee-Oklahoma coming into the SEC.
You mean Texas, Oklahoma?
Texas and Oklahoma. They're going to come in July of next year.
I guess I'll let you mention that since it's your birthday. I'm not a big fan of this move at all, and you know that.
Well,
but you know, we'll see how it plays out.
By them coming in, it's possibly going to make the other SEC teams, of which there are 14, go to a 9-game schedule. You have some teams now that most have an 8-game schedule within the conference.
Yeah.
So if you got
too big, it's too big.
It's going to create a problem.
It is. I'm against it completely. It's unnecessary.
But anyway, Tennessee lost last Saturday to Missouri on a last-second shot.
Man,
86-85.
I know it.
That's the media. Then last Sunday we had Super Bowl LVII. What was that? LVII.
I'm gonna let you tell me.
L is 50, V is 5, II is 2 more.
So it's 57.
57.
Okay.
And it was an amazing exhibition of football. Kansas City won 38-35, but it was a well-fought game.
Yeah, I kind of thought the Eagles would take that one, but really, really good game. And it's Kansas City now won the Super Bowl for the second time in at least 4 years.
And can you imagine that quarterback joins Peyton Manning?
With 2 championship rings already.
He has 2, and Joe Montana and Tom Brady.
Oh yeah. Big Ben. So the Steelers got 2.
He's in good company.
He is. And because he's still young, where he can get some more.
This is the first time that 2 black quarterbacks were in the Super Bowl opposing each other.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was a well fought ball game.
Yeah. Congratulations to Kansas City.
That's the 3rd time they've won the Super Bowl, by the way.
Okay.
3 titles.
Well, it's the second one recently, that's for sure. The last one was just a couple of years ago under the same coach, Andy Reid, who was going up against his old team, the Eagles.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, that was an interesting storyline to it.
There was an interesting happening in the women's end of the court. LSU had not lost a game, and South Carolina had not lost a game, and they played each other.
They were both undefeated, only in conference, but overall.
But South Carolina flexed their muscles.
They did. It was at South Carolina, and they destroyed them.
They separated the men from the boys.
They did, didn't they?
But both of them are women.
They sure
88
did.
to 64. That's a big difference.
It was. South Carolina's team beat the women.
South Carolina is asserting themselves.
They are. They have the size to do it. They have dominating size.
They're dominating.
They're going to be tough to beat.
Then our Tennessee men took on Arkansas during the week, and they increased their record to 19-9.
But the men, something I meant to say earlier, that Missouri lost the men lost 2 buzzer beaters in a row.
Vanderbilt and Missouri.
That's hard.
But then they turned around and played the number 1 team in the nation
and beat them. Yeah, I was glad they did. They beat number 1 Alabama, Papa.
Number 1 Alabama.
Played great that game.
Well, I was proud of them.
I was too. They desperately needed that, by the way.
Well, after losing those 2 by 1 point
on
last-second shots, they needed something to bounce. They needed the ball to bounce their way.
They really did. They really did. Their lack of execution in the Missouri game, though, is what got them beat. That's just all there was to it. Tennessee, instead of taking the last shot,
they could have,
and stupidly did not go to the line and miss. They get fouled and they miss. You cannot do that. I've never understood why they do that. Just take the dang shot, especially when it's a close game like that. You can't beat like that.
I mean, it was a gimme.
It was. There was no reason for him not to take that shot, and it come back to bite him in a big way.
Unless he was going to try to run at the clock. Which
completely backfired on him. Completely.
Okay. Paul Feinbaum show during the week, he had this question. What do you want from the team you love this year? What do you want from the team you love?
Okay.
And so this fellow from Georgia said back-to-back championships.
Shoot, you done got that.
Roll Tide, they were number 1 in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Shucks, Georgia, we want a three-peat.
No, I do not want that.
Also on the Paul Feinbaum show, worst Valentine's Day experience you've ever had. Number 1, I forgot it. And number 2, today was the worst Valentine's Day I ever had. I had to have a wisdom tooth pulled. That would be bad.
That would be terrible.
On a lighter note,
mine was very bad too because I had strep throat, so that's not too much more fun either.
I'm sure that was not any fun.
It was not.
Archie Manning's grandson, Arch Manning, that's Peyton and Eli's nephew.
Yeah. Okay.
He signed to play football as quarterback with Texas.
Dang.
What about that?
Well, Tennessee was recruiting him. I'm sure they were.
Well, I'm sure they were.
Man.
Because of Peyton.
So he don't go to Tennessee or Ole Miss. He goes to Texas.
Isn't that something?
That is.
And I'm sure Archie didn't like it because Peyton signed with Tennessee.
Archie did not like it. He didn't like it one bit.
All right. On a high school note, the Bledsoe County basketballers, both male and female, they played Van Buren County and they lost both games. They played Whitwell and split. They played York Institute and they split.
Yes, and the boys lost in overtime in the district
tournament.
Yeah, overtime there. It was so close. I felt for them. They almost pulled it off, but congratulations to them, though, putting up such a good fight. They had a good year.
They
guys
won a pretty
did.
good year. The girls didn't have a good year.
No. But they got a couple more wins towards the end of the season. I was glad to see that.
The Tennessee game when they played Alabama, that was the first time since 2010 that we had defeated a number 1 team in Bowling Arena.
Okay. Was the last one Memphis? No, that was in 08.
I don't remember. 2010.
Could be anybody, but Bruce Pearl was our coach then.
Yeah. Bruce Pearl. But anyway,
it was a good game.
Paul Feinbaum show one more time. The rivalry to protect at all costs among college teams. He said Tennessee, Alabama, Tennessee, Vandy, Florida and Georgia,
definitely,
and Bama and Auburn.
Definitely, I agree.
I can agree with those.
I agree.
Then
I know those 3 in-state rivalries.
Well, and also on Paul's show, it said if you could have any job for 24 hours, what job would you want? Just for 24 hours. This man said, I'd like to be president of the NCAA. I've got some ideas. Some changes he'd like to make.
I like his way of thinking.
This other man said, I'd like to be a philanthropist. I'd like to be able to give money away. just to see how it feels to give money away.
Oh, wait, that show is funny, isn't it?
It is. And then this other man said, I'd like to be a fighter pilot. One said, I'd like to be coach at Alabama.
I'd just like to have his money.
Then this other man said, I'd just like to have the highest paying job.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Tennessee softball team is ranked number 8. I did not realize that.
Well, good. It's glad. Welcome back. Where they've been the last 2 years, honestly.
Yeah. And then Tim McCarver died at 81. Tim McCarver was an analyst for Fox News for 18 years.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
But he was a catcher, I think, in baseball.
Okay, I did see where he passed away, but I didn't realize he was with Fox Sports that long.
Let me tell you one thing about LeBron James. LeBron James took over as the leading scorer.
For what? Like,
he replaced Jabbar.
Okay, like you're talking about, he scored more points than anybody in his career. Okay, I didn't know that.
He has 38,358 points when this was announced back earlier in the week. Jabbar had the record for 38 years.
Well, now that's impressive, Papa.
That is impressive.
I didn't realize that. That's a long time to have a record.
It is a long time. Speaking of records, Jack Nicklaus has the record for 18 major tournaments.
In golf, yeah.
In golf. Pete Maravich has the record that has stood for many, many years of scoring 44.4 points per game for a career.
My goodness.
Not just 1 year.
That's unheard of. And that's before the three-point shot.
That's before the 3 points. So don't you imagine that's not in danger of being broken anytime soon?
It's not. And he always needs to be included in the greatest of all time conversation just for that alone.
Of course, it helped that his dad was the coach and he allowed him to shoot every time he wanted to shoot.
Apparently so.
But I have seen this documentary coming on television about the sports of basketball in the South, and it depicts him performing before a game, just getting warmed up out there. It's wild.
Really?
Just passing the ball, dribbling the ball. He put on a show for people.
Okay. He was just very, very, very talented, wasn't he?
Also, the swimmer Phelps has a record of
Bobby Phelps.
8 gold medals in one Olympics.
I remember that.
P. Rose has the record of 4,256 hits in baseball.
Okay,
I don't think that'll be broken.
No.
And then Richard Petty has a record of 20 NASCAR wins.
Oh, that won't be broken either.
Richard Petty.
He's famous, yeah.
Okay, that's it for sports.
Pete Rose was a great player. He just got caught up in the gambling part, didn't he?
It messed things up for him.
It really did.
Without any doubt.
That's for sure. Putting it mildly, isn't it?
That's putting it mildly. All right, have you got time for
Of course. Now? I think we'll make time for you on your birthday, Papa.
That's so sweet of you. That's so sweet of you.
Isn't it, though?
All right. Here's some aberology.
You know, did you see where the beautiful, she's always so beautiful, but the beautiful, legendary Raquel Welch passed away?
No.
Yes.
She's been on Grit lately.
Has she?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Still was. You know, she's in her 80s.
Yeah.
Still very, very pretty. Apparently she had an illness for a short while. I'm not sure what it was, but she didn't have it long.
Did you hear this week that Bruce Willis has dementia?
I didn't know what it was. So
dementia.
I just heard he was sick, but man, I didn't know that.
That's sad.
Very sad. Another one at a young age to get that.
Yeah, and he was not through acting.
No, I hate to hear that.
Okay, this is something that I got out of this book that I bought here.
Okay. Brain teasers.
Philip Morris is a tobacco company.
Oh, this is called The Bigger They Are.
The Bigger They Are.
Okay.
In 2001, Philip Morris did a study of the effects of the cigarette smoking on the leaders of the Czech Republic. They asked for this.
Okay.
They wanted Philip Morris to do the study. This is what their study revealed.
So this is just a story, correct?
This is average, it's not jokes.
Gotcha.
So they put down for the Czech Republic the positive effects of cigarette smoking for that country. Smoking shortens people's lives.
And that's positive.
Which means lower costs for pensions, lower costs for housing, lower costs for health.
Oh, man.
And these details that Philip Morris uncovered were supposed to be kept private, but some media got hold of it, and they made it known to the public in 2001.
Didn't know that.
This Philip Morris company had just spent $100 million to boost their image.
Oh my
and
God.
This terrible report destroyed whatever goodwill they tried to create with $100 million. And so they apologized to the Czech Republic for it being made public.
I'm sure they did.
And they canceled their plans that they were going to do this in other countries. I think that was a wise decision.
I think it was too.
But listen to this one now, Billy. When locomotives were first used in Egypt back in the 19th century, wood and coal were scarce in Egypt. So what did they use for fuel?
Oh, wow.
The one thing they had plenty of, mummies. This has turned out to be a joke session. Do you remember hearing about Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos? They were dictators in the Philippines.
Oh, yeah, yes.
She had 3,000 pairs of shoes, I think.
Good Lord, no.
Anyway,
so they were evil dictators, I'll tell you.
He took over the country, and he just changed all the laws because he became a dictator. So they just did away with the Constitution, wrote another one.
Yeah, forget that.
They took control, and they accused him of bilking the country out of $5 billion.
Sure
and
did.
He had a bunch of people executed and tortured, and so finally they stepped in. The government they investigated him, and they found out what was going on, and so they took off and they went to Hawaii.
Oh, him and his woman went on the run.
They went to another country.
Yeah.
Well, Ferdinand died in 1989.
Okay.
But he had hidden all this money in Swiss banks. Yeah. And so she's continued to keep on doing whatever she wanted to do because they couldn't touch her. And she only had 1,000 pairs of shoes whenever they had to leave the Philippines. Now she has 3,000 pairs. And the government got back $2 billion out of their assets, but she's still doing all right. She's still buying diamonds.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? I'd say there's a few people there in that country that'd like to get a hold of her.
You better believe it.
I don't blame them.
When I was in school, there were 9 planets. Do you know how many there are now?
No, because they keep changing it.
There's 8. Do you know which one?
They want to do away with Pluto.
Pluto.
I don't understand that, though.
It was too small.
So did they not know that?
It was too small to be classified as a planet. So they did away with it.
You think they'll realize that, though, at the start when they decided it was going to be a planet?
It's sad that it got that.
It really is.
It got to be a planet, and it was all the time I was in school, and all
Me
of a sudden
too.
It's not a planet.
And then it's like you wake up one day and they decide Pluto ain't a planet no more. That's what it seemed like.
I got time for some jokes now.
Yes, you do. You got time for some jokes. Birthday boy, you got time for some jokes.
All right, after a worship service, a mother with a fidgety 7-year-old told her how she finally got her son to sit still and be quiet.
Okay.
Halfway through the sermon, she said to this 7-year-old, "If you're not quiet, the pastor's going to lose his place and have to preach the sermon over." That's how she got him to be quiet.
That's smart. That is genius.
Now listen to this. While standing in line for a confession at a Roman Catholic church, I overheard a woman whisper to her friend, "I really don't know why I'm going to confession. I've been so busy lately, I've not had time to sin." When a friend learned that I was seeing a man 16 years younger than me, she accused me of being a cougar. "Why not?" I said. "My first 2 husbands were cheetahs." Cheetahs.
Oh, I like that. That's funny.
The priest said to the farmer, and the farmer is a poor man,
Okay.
"If you had a horse, would you give it to the Lord?" "Yes," said the farmer. "If you had a cow?" "Absolutely." "And a goat?" "Sure I would." "And a pig?" "That's not fair, you know I've got a pig."
I agree.
Now these 2 baseball buddies, their names are Ned and John.
Ned and John. Okay.
Ned and John. And they had gone to every baseball game in the Chattanooga to see the Chattanooga Lookouts play.
Okay.
But they talked baseball all the time, 10 hours a day. But
Dang.
one day, John died. And
That's a bummer.
he left Ned alone, and Ned had no one to talk baseball with. And one day, Ned hears someone call his name.
Oh,
And he
really?
looked around, and standing there was Ned. And Ned said, "John, I have good news and I have bad news." John is dead, and Ned knows he's dead. And he's got good news and bad news. And so Ned says, "Well, great. Give me the good news." "The good news is there's baseball in heaven." And that tickled him to death. Then Ned said, "Well, what's the bad news?" He said, "Tomorrow you're going to be pitching."
That's a good one.
Tomorrow you're going to be pitching.
I like that. That's good.
These are little kids' editions of quotable quotes, what kids would say.
Okay.
Wait, what was I just crying about? You count to 10 and I'll hide in the bathtub. Well, that's just great. You cut my fingernails so short I can't pick my nose. I like to sleep. Now this is people that have cat pets.
Okay.
I've talked to some people today, and Wednesday night at church, what they believed about whether you would have pets in heaven.
You remember I said yes, absolutely.
Well, these people said yes. One of them has a dog, and both of them has dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And they said yes. I said, well, if I have a pet snake, will I be welcome?
How about that, though?
They said no.
Yeah.
But Jolene has pet horses.
I can see them in heaven.
And she says there'll be horses in
I
heaven.
can see horses in heaven. Snakes, I don't think so. Horses, yeah.
But you know why she said there's horses in heaven? Jesus
They're
is going to
beautiful.
come back walking, riding a horse.
Well, yeah, right. Good point, Jolene.
Okay, this is cats. I like to sleep on the left side of the bed. My cat likes to sleep on the left side of the bed. This is Cindy. So we compromised. I sleep on the right side of the bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll ask my cats, "Are you a good kitty?" They just look at me, and my wife will say, "Ask your daddy." This one.
Dogs and cats are good pets, so they can be really funny, both of them.
Listen to this one. My father was a lifelong pastor.
Okay.
One Sunday morning, as he was making his closing emphatic remarks, his false teeth flew out. False teeth just flew out of his mouth. In one swift move, he swept his hand across the top of the pulpit, snagged them out of there, and put them back in his mouth. But the sound of clapping and laughing, heavy laughter, filled the room. Dad put his head down on the pulpit and laughed until tears came. When he recovered, he raised his head and said, "Dismissed." The congregation left, but the dad said to his daughter, "Well, I'm glad people were listening."
Yeah, they were paying attention to what
They were paying attention.
It'd be kind of
4-year-old
hard to miss that.
4-year-old said, "Can we get a kitten?" "No, I'm allergic. We can't be in the same house." The 4-year-old said, "Well, you could sleep outside."
Oh, that's cold. That's cold.
Lawyers may have gone to school to graduate, but their rigorous education hasn't stopped them from asking stupid, crazy, bizarre questions. These are some of the questions they have asked in
And they're
court.
real. And these are real
they've asked these
questions,
in court.
folks.
How many times have you committed suicide? I believe everybody would get up and leave. Was it you or your brother who was killed? Do you have any children or anything like that? Was that the same nose you broke as a child? Without saying anything, tell the jury what you did next. Oh me!
Those are great.
You want this to be the last one?
What's so good about those is they were actually said in court.
2 hunters were out in the woods when one of them shot a duck. Immediately, his retriever walked atop of the pond to fetch the dog.
Right.
And his friend was in awe that this dog walked on water to get his duck.
Okay.
And he says to his friend, "Your dog just walked on water. That's amazing." "Not really. He can't swim."
Oh, what an answer. God.
I thought of Barry Bryant. People said he could walk on water.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Because he was such a good coach, yeah. Very beloved, apparently, too.
I don't, as near perfect as a coach is, I think Nick Saban is an outstanding coach. But I don't think
He's not as beloved, though.
I don't think he would be revered like Barry Bryant.
I don't either. Me
But then,
either. His maybe lack of charisma, maybe, and things like that is some of it too, I think.
Barry Bryan is remembered for the darn hat he wore.
Yeah.
Houndstooth hat.
That is crazy, isn't it?
And I can remember, and Tennessee still plays Alabama on third Saturday in October.
Yeah, that's been going on for as long as I've been alive.
And I can remember listening to ball games when Tennessee would be ahead and Alabama had the ball and late in the fourth quarter. I would think against all odds of Alabama will pull this out. And they usually did.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Mayor Brown always had a trick play up his sleeve that he would pull off when he needed to pull it off.
Oh, well, that's what separates the coaches, I guess, from the legends. Is things like that, and to know when to do it. But I want to wish the primary posse, as I call them, from primary care, wishes you a happy birthday, Papa. So thank you, ladies, for wishing Papa a happy birthday today. I think you're getting to go out for a birthday supper here pretty soon.
Yes, I'm going to be at home in 10 minutes. 11 minutes. They're going to pick me up.
All about Papa today on his birthday. Well, happy birthday, Papa. And thank you guys for joining us today on this edition of the Albert and Billy Show on Papa's birthday. And thank you to our guest, Mr. Timothy Hawn. And definitely come up with a good idea there. Definitely bring him back, and we'll showcase the choir right before they do their play this year. So that'll be interesting.
It will be.
Yeah, I like that.
He's a very talented person.
Yeah, he is. He is.
I think Bledsoe is fortunate to have him.
Oh yeah, because he'll stick to that, I would assume, and he will improve it. That's for sure. They'll just get better, that's for sure. Let's keep.
Well, I'm glad to see local talent used by local people.
I am too. Need to see more of that. I like that. Well, thanks for joining us today, folks. We'll see you guys next time for another edition of the Albert and Billy Show. Until then, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time. So long, folks.
Bye-bye.
Hey, folks, Albert and Billy here. You're watching us on Channel 18, BTC Fiber. Check us out on BTC Fiber YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and like. And check out our Facebook page. Be sure to like and share. Thanks, everybody, for watching.